Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. And I'm here today to bring you a Vamp The Lost Soul discussion video. So now I've got a question for you guys right now. Who are the top 30 strongest character in the series currently? That is what this video is going to be kind of exploring, and I am going to be doing a little bit of talking before I actually hop into the main gist of the video. So if you don't want to hear all my ramblings and just basically why this idea came about, I will have a timestamp for you to skip to so you can go and enjoy what you came here to see sooner rather than later. So this idea is not a particularly unique one. It is something that is done within the streaming community, I'm going to call it, with a series known as One Piece. So every year, at the end of the year, streamers gather together and they discuss their top 30 characters for the series. This is done via Twitch, via YouTube, and there's something I thought, maybe I'll decide start to do with Vamp The Lost Soul. So I don't know many fans of the series right now, but you know, I'm starting this off, and hopefully I'm gonna get it to a stage where it's like the One Piece ones that they do, where they do live stream with everyone discussing, debating their top 30 characters. That's the aim. That's the aim. But for now, I've got to start solo, and that's how I'm going to do it. So with the One Piece one, it works in the sense that at the end of the year, they gather, they do their stream. Obviously, Vamp the Lost Soul is currently not a weekly series, so I thought to myself, maybe I would do it after every arc. But I then started to think that's not. I mean, it's a good idea, but it potentially loses I'm not customers characters being in the top 30 at any point in time. So I then decided to myself, okay, cool, I would do it excluding this one. This is like the start one, but I would after this one I would do it every 52 chapters. So chapter 52, then 104, so on. You should get the gist. And you're probably thinking, why 52 chapters? Well, basically, if it was a weekly series, the most chapters you would get in a year is 52. So I feel like that's a good number to roll with. So I think I'm going to do it like that. So there are a few rules to this. You can't have more than one person on one spot, and I think the most major rule is you can't, if a character is confirmed dead by the mangaka, that character can't be on the list. This is strictly for alive and kicking characters. And one last thing before I jump into my list, this is strictly opinion based. There's no fact, it's just all opinion. And I know, James, you're going to be watching this at some point, so listen to me very carefully now for when you are watching this. I do not want to know, I repeat, I do not want to know if I am right or wrong. This is simply all just for the fun of the fandom. We don't want answers. We don't want to know if we're right or wrong. So just leave it at that. So this was actually a good time to do a first top 30 list, because I think we have actually now been introduced to 30 characters, and now I'm literally scraping the barrel just to get this list together. So I feel like possibly my next list will be like my true first top 30 list, but this is the top 30 list that I have to start with, because it's the only characters we've been introduced to thus far. So I'm going to read off my list, and then I'm going to come back and try to explain why I placed people where I've placed them so far, because it might need some sort of explanation, or you just might want some sort of explanation. But let's read off the list. So at number 30, we have Dr. Tekla. At number 29, we have the Ink Droid. At number 28, we have Kaz. At number 27, we have Lancelot. At number 26, we have Rin. At number 25, we have Inkra. At number 24, we got Hex Axe. At number 23, we've got Jean Tinker. At number 22, we got No-God. At number 21, we got Gabriel. At number 20, we have Nick. At number 19, we have Rangfang. At number 18, we have Jess. At number 17, we have Puppet. At number 16, 15, and 14, we've got the men that Anna came with. Anna being Jess' mum. The men that she came with, they fill those spaces. At number 13, we have Anna, just his mum. At number 12, we have I Meg Former. At number 11, we have James. At number 10, we have Professor Einstein. At number 9, we have Dragon Mistress. At number 8, we have Regina, Nick's sister, just a little reminder. At number 7, we have Jasper. At number 6, we have Non. At number 5, we have Billie Jean. And now I'm assuming this character is still alive. If not, we just take him out of this completely. Number 4, we have Van Helsing. Number 3, we have Geminio. At number 2, we have the Immortal who had the umbrella. Hasn't been named yet. We have him at number 2. And at number 1, we have the curly beard Immortal. Okay, cool. Now that we got that off, let's kind of just talk about why I've placed people where I've placed them. Like I said previously, like we got barely 30 characters. We might have a little bit more and I might have missed some, but we've got 30 characters at the moment. So in order to make this list, I took the 30 that we got and just worked with them. So I feel like later on down the lines where you have more people to pick from, it'll be a better list. But this is what I had to work with so far. So at number 30, I put, Dr. Rickler, that's the doctor we see in the first volume. He was looking after Nick. I needed someone to fill the spot. I threw him in there. I don't think, the reason why I put him at the bottom, I know he's an adult, but I don't think he's be like a combatant kind of fighter type person. He should have a bit of strength to him because he should be an adult, but because I don't think he's going to be a fighter combatant, I put him at number 30. So number 29, we've got the Ink Droid. Now the Ink Droid is, we see it in volume 1 and at the beginning of volume 2. That's the version of Geminio that Nick was fighting. Because it's an ink droid and we don't know much about the ink droid at the moment, but I'm assuming that it can eliminate any person that knows that it's got the ink for, the DNA for, whatever, however that works. Again, we haven't got an explanation for that. And I always feel like its strength depends on who it's pretending to be. But I also feel like that the droid is never as strong as the person that it's pretending to be. So I don't know, I just felt to leave it down here. So number 28, we have Kaz. And that might have thrown people off. And I'm not gonna lie, I had Kaz up higher previously, but then I remembered something very important. At the end of volume 4, we leave off Kaz at volume 4. So this is what this video is encompassing. Characters from volume 1 to end of volume 4. Kaz is currently armless. So that's a big nerf to anyone's strength. So I had to put her low. She was higher up in the teens. She was higher up in the teens before. But I had to put her low because of that reason. So I don't know what's going to happen regarding her arms. That's a video pending within itself. But once that's sorted, I think she'll be pretty much back up there. So at number 27, we have Lancelot. And now you may see a pattern within my kind of, at least that's what I'm going for with what I'll be doing in my top 30s. I feel like because in Vamp The Lost Soul, there's a lot of races. It's probably every race under the sun in the series. And I feel like in a general standpoint, humans will always be the weaker race. And it's because of that, within generational groups, so for example, we have Nikea and his generation, and then we have the old generation, which is kind of encompassing the parents. I always feel like the human of that generation will be the weakest until proven otherwise, kind of thing. So that's the kind of thought process I've going under right now. So that's why we have Lancelot and then Rin above them, followed by Ikra. And now the reason why I've put these 4, which I call the secondary main cast, under the villains that were still alive during this arc, the Bounty Hunter arc, is because these guys individually don't defeat any villains. So I feel like maybe they are under them. They don't do it individually, they do it like with the older generations helping them. In Icarus' case, no W's at all. But because they do this with help and not individually, I put them under all the remaining villains that were still alive. And then we get into the Hex X, Gene Tinker, and No God. I can't really remember if I had a reason why I put Hex X over Gene Tinker, but No God, Dragonoid, dragons are big and bad. Kept him up there. And then we have Gabriel over that. I think a reason why I did Gabriel over No God maybe simply because of because Nick is the main character, you fighting the stronger villain. I don't know, but that's why I put that there. And then after Gabriel, we get into Nick, Rang Fang, Jess, and Puppet. So I currently think, because obviously we know Nick has split personality, and when he goes into Puppet mode, things get a little bit drastic, a bit better. So I honestly feel like Puppet is the weaker of the two personalities. Nick still has a lot to learn. He's still new to this game, whereas I guess Puppet does as well, because technically, he's only started just flipping out, but I feel like Puppet has that more confidence. He knows what he's doing more, so that's why I put him over there. I feel like Rang Fang and Jess and Kaz with Arms, because they've known about their world this whole time, they've been training for it, all of that good stuff, they can overcome Nick. But when Nick flips and turns into Puppet, then Nick is the big and bad. And will that change while things go on? Possibly. And we will see as that things go on. So after Puppet, that's where I have Anna's men that, accompanied Anna to this the shopping center. And now there's no evidence to support it, but I feel like that these three would be above everyone previously mentioned. And I'm more thinking about them being over Nick and etc. And I feel like that should be the case, simply because of possibly age, but I was thinking more of occupation. They are special police force. You gotta have some sort of degree of strength, I'm guessing, to be special police force. So that is why I put them over the main cast. So after that, we get into Anna. I for Magma, James, Professor Einstein, and Dragon Mistress. And now the reason why I put all of these guys under Regina, Nick's sister, simply because of portrayal. Right now, Regina's got a lot of hype. Well, not a lot of hype, but she's got some hype under her belt right now. And simply because of how when she called to tell them like, yo, Nick's staying with me now, say something. Everyone was shook. All these people were shook. They did not want to pick up the call. They weren't having it. They did not want to pick up the call. So that's kind of why I put them all under Regina. If it comes to blows, is Regina probably stronger? I have no idea. But for right now, that's how I feel. So we'll see as things roll out. Is Regina living up to the hype she just put a pin? Now, this kind of 7 to 3 rather, is that kind of, I call it the M2K region. Because M2K was the big and bad for volume 4, for the first three, first 4 volumes rather. And he was a tough opponent. Nick couldn't beat him 1-on-1. And M2K himself mentioned that previously he's only been bested by 2 people. Those 2 people were Billy Jeans and Van Helsing. And now I spoke about Van Helsing already. I'm not sure if he's still alive. I've got a feeling that he is. But Billy Jean still alive, still kicking. We know that. We've seen him. Yes, he bested him in the past, but why is he still? Why was M2K still around in present day? So that kind of makes me think. Could Billy Jeans beat him again? I don't know, but he is in that ballpark. And when it comes to Jasper, I think Jasper could give Billy Jeans a good, not Billy Jeans, could give M2K a good fight, but probably not come out with the win. And now when it comes to Non, I'm kind of uncertain about, is it her or he? I'm kind of uncertain about Non in the sense of, I want to think that Non is stronger than M2K simply because she's a villain and she's still within the series. So you save the stronger for later kind of thing. So that makes me think that Non could definitely give M2K a good fight. Winning just because she's still in the series, I would want to say yes, but it is possible that she could be weaker. But obviously, Dominion, he defeats Billy M2K within this arc, so he's up there. It's up there. But if he was still alive, M2K, he would have been in that ballpark. I'm not sure exactly where, but in that ballpark. So Dominion beat M2K. He's up there, number 3. And so to wrap this up, why I put the morals where I did, simply because of the order they were introduced. Usually it's kind of a trope within manga. You introduce the weaker first and save the strongest to last. Strongest to last when it comes to introductions. So I simply did it based off that. The Mortal Hood and Umbrella was introduced first. He got second place. And Mortal with the curly beard was introduced last. So far, obviously there will be more morals, I'm assuming. He was introduced last, so I gave him the first place. Will I be right? Oh no, but we'll see. Yeah. So that was the first top 30 strongest characters for Vamp The Lost Soul. If you have your own list, please let me know. If you want to join this kind of thing where I'm doing the stream, when you're actually actively part of the video where we can talk about it live, let me know so you can be in on the next one. But for now, drop your list within the comment section. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please go to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.